Hello everyone, welcome back to One in Shot 2021 Winter in preparation for ESA. I don't see Limes on the game screen.
Where's Limes' feed?
Give me one moment, let me just double check his slug. It's been changed over, so give us 1 minute and I'll get him set up.
There you go.
Okay, we're good now. Sorry about that. So yeah, Winter 2021 in preparation for ESA. We're watching all the runs from the Metal Gear speedrunners who will be attending. Next up is the race between Jaguar King and D-Limes 13. So best of luck to both of them, and I'll get them underway in just a second. So I'll give them a little countdown in the backstage. Best of luck to both runners. I'm also joined by Makarov360. Welcome, dude.
Hello everybody, I'm Makarov and I will co-commentate this race with Apache. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I'm ready to go on this one as well. And they are both off. So we're off to a fantastic start here. We're playing Metal Gear Solid 2, the HD collection on the Xbox Series S and X. I think Limes has the Series S and Jag has the Series X, right? They both load at the same speed, so there's no concerns there. As far as all our testing, they both load at the same speed. Now, this is the fastest console version of the game that you can get in terms of load. So the Xbox, when you play in offline mode, I believe, it just loads so fast. Not quite as fast as PC, because obviously the loads are still counted, and you still have the codec delay, which you find in the HD collection version of the game. I noticed Jag is playing in English and Limes is playing in Japanese as well. I think that's just more of a player's choice kind of thing. I think in full game there's no real difference between the two, right?
Yeah, I believe that Japanese is faster only for IELTS.
Yeah, when you're doing a shorter run like the tanker, I think the codec screens, number of codec screens does play a small difference, something like that. But it all comes out in the wash in a full game run, where speeches will be longer. So things like the Solidus speeches slightly longer, I believe, in Japanese. Coming up to Olga. A little bit of a crazy movement for Jag for that shot for the guard, but it worked.
So let's see what Olga, the runners, get. You ideally want a left side Olga on Euro, and Limes got a left side. And the Jag got right side.
Right, yeah. Unfortunate, but I feel like they are relatively similar speeds in Euro. You want the left side because the loop is faster. On a difficulty like very easy, right side actually comes out a little bit faster, but I think you lose about 9 seconds or something between the two. Nice third shot from Jackie. She's going to get one more. She does run back, which is slightly slower, but really well executed from both. Limes misses the dab drop.
So if you unequip the gun over a small gap or a big gap in some VR levels, and you mash square while unequipped, there is a chance of getting an animation cancel where Snake literally teleports to the ground and saves a few milliseconds.
Yeah, it's about half a second total. It's good stuff. Recently a setup was found which Limes went for, but he messed up the last kind of movement for it. So Jack doesn't do the warning strat shot there. He just buffers his movement and then shoots the guard in the back with the M9, which makes them turn around. Two different strats there, but well executed from both.
Coming up for Limes is one of the hardest rooms in Tanker, which is Engine Room. It's a room which you have to execute really well to get it fast. And Limes seems to be on fast Engine Room pace, but the decider is actual roll that you will do here to try and avoid a guard. Which
Yeah. Oh no, he didn't get it.
he
I
didn't
thought he
get
got it, but yeah. If you see the voice line come up when they roll for the shot, and obviously the guard has come downstairs, it means they didn't get fast engine room, which means they take an extra shot, so they get damaged, which makes guard rush much harder, right? Like you want to get into guard rush with full health if possible. The other thing that can happen is when you get slow engine room, that guard can occasionally miss when he goes to shoot you. It happens very rarely, but you really hope for it. They're doing all of this tricky stuff in order to get a cutscene skip as they enter the room with the Semtex and sensors.
Jack had a bit of trouble with that third sensor, but got past the sensors without blowing up the ship.
Yeah, we're not seeing much difference between the two runners at the moment. Still early days. Now, at the end of Deck 2, is this? It's called Deck 2, right? At the end of Deck 2, they'll
Yeah.
do like a punch kick, or some people do a few punches. It's just like a buffer to make sure that guard with the headset on doesn't see us, because that guard will cause an instant alert. On European Extreme, obviously, getting shot is a huge problem.
Now for guard rush, you have to take out 8 guards, and after you take out those 8 guards, a final group of 3 guards will come out. Now both Jaguar King and Limes are going for Foxhound strats, which means that they will M9 all of the 8 guards except the final 3 guards. Because if you shoot them with the SP fast enough, the animation of them dying is so slow that the fight ends before it finishes, so those actually do not count as kills.
Yeah, really well executed from both. I think Jack's got one more guard to go before his last 3 guards. He's gone for the movement for him. It can be scary when you move that last guard like that. Obviously, getting shot is really bad in this situation. I believe they are both going for rank 1 strats throughout, but I wonder if, Limes is trailing at a certain point, whether he will just switch to doing things like, lethal oil fence, which is much, much faster than rank 1 strats, but up to now, they're both sticking with the rank 1 stuff. Now the holds are especially scary on European Extreme. I know we've seen these rooms many times during the VE tournament, but hold 1 has an additional guard, hold 2 has an additional guard. It's all game over if discovered still. The hold 2 especially is slightly more tricky, as you have to hold up the a third guard in the room, and you'll see that on Jack's screen just now. It can be very scary because that guard, if your timing's not perfect, he will turn around and face you, and you have to take him out while he's held up. But Jag was fast enough. Both going for 2 spot photos, which is where you take all 4 photos of the ray from 2 positions, and you don't have to run up and take the photo of the Marine's photo. Or the Marine's
So
logo.
Limes got through tanker successfully, got all the photos, and he's now moving on to the plant chapter. And
Jag
good
keeping
photos
up
for
really
Jag as
well.
well.
Yeah, Jag keeping up really well. Got to watch out for the save boss. I believe on Japanese you have to press circle to confirm, or B as it would be on the Xbox. Whereas Jaguar King can accidentally hit the save bosses as he's mashing A for the cutscenes. Now in the deep sea dock area, after you go on the node, there's actually an additional guard at the back of the room that we have to address. It's quite clever the strats the runner uses. Once that guard wakes up, we will choke the guard once, and that will leave him in a position to do a groin punch, which is an instant knockout. It's a good strategy to use, and we'll see that quite a lot over the course of the run. Very useful for taking out guards. That extra guard can catch you by surprise if you're playing this difficulty for the first time. You're not ready for him. I like Jag's name on the node. It just says, ah. Here he is, the sneaky guard at the back.
And here you can see the best tactic for knocking out guards, which is a groin punch, which is a one-shot knockout basically. And sometimes it's pretty hard to get, sometimes it's easy to get, and we will hope that it's easy to get in strat A later on in the run.
Yeah, I think Jaguar King regularly says on stream that sometimes they have big ones, sometimes they have small ones.
Yeah, you always want big ones.
We get a little bit of respite now as we head towards Peter Stillman, but the bomb disposal section of European Extreme is by far one of the hardest parts of the whole run. It's very technical, very easy to mess up and die. Both of these guys extremely experienced runners, so I'm sure they'll be fine, but it's a tough old section of the run.
Yeah, I believe that even Beswick routed the conveyor belt strat from very easy into European Extreme, and maybe in the future we might see that as the norm for bomb disposal.
Yeah, it's going to save a lot of time, particularly on a system that counts load screens, because you are doing less loading screens and less rooms as well. Very, very tricky strat. And yeah, I do think we will see it in the future. I think once someone's crazy enough to go for it in full game runs, we'll start to see it. Probably Platonic guy.
Yeah, most likely.
JJ, thanks for gifting a sub for to Imperial. Appreciate that. Are the runners going for safer strats for the race? I mean, that's a personal choice. I think they'll almost certainly stick with the normal route they do. I can't think of any concessions that they would give up for the race. Something like conveyor belt just isn't really done in single segment yet, but I'm pretty sure they'll be going for all the hardest stuff that they know. I'm trying to think of any concessions that you give in a race situation. Perhaps swim glitch, yeah. In a race situation, it really comes down to where you are compared to the other person. And I mean, if you have to go for it, you have to go for it. Depends how much you want to win, I guess.
Most runners, if they are a lot ahead, they might go for it just as practice. But if you're behind the other runner, you really want to do swim glitch, as it might gain you some time over the other runner, and it might be the thing that may win you the race.
Yeah, swim glitch is worth a lot more on console again because of the game counting the loading screens. So you get more value for your swim glitch. Saves more time. And
Now,
you'll
there
know.
is a way to defuse that bomb in strat B without actually opening the locker door, but it's a strat that's actually loses a little bit of time, but maybe in the future there might be a setup which saves time.
Yeah, and you'll notice the bombs diffuse slightly slower on the Xbox. We don't know why, but it's the same for both. That's a Xbox exclusive. I think that the Series S and X, you don't have to use the right analog stick to defuse, but you do on previous Xbox versions, Xbox One and the 360. For some reason, they move the diffuse to the pushing up on the right analog stick. It's very inconvenient if you're used to running this game on other versions.
I believe that Limes fixed that issue with the gimmicks adapter, which solves the issue on the Series SX at least. And those were small ones, sadly.
Now, I know that Limes will be wanting to win this race. He's a very competitive person, but he also rightly said, you know, he's racing a legend that is Jaguar King, and he's very proud to be racing him, and he'll want to do really well. But it's a long game, and a lot can go wrong. Some things in this game can go wrong that are completely out of your control. I mean, one of the scariest sections of the game is Tengu 2 on European Extreme, right? That can just fail, and you can't do anything about it. So we've got a long way before we're there, but it's one of those ridiculously scary rooms on European Extreme.
Oh, Limes is having some trouble defusing the Strat F bomb. That bomb is in a tricky spot, and you have to stand in a specific position to actually defuse it without actually going inside that small area by dropping on the box.
Yeah, he took 4 tries at that one. Let's see how Jag fares. That looks like first time to me.
Yeah, so Jack gained a little bit of time over Limes right there.
Picks up those stun grenades. A lot of runners say, you know, you can never have enough stun grenades on the European Extreme version, and you use them all in Tengu 1, because those guards will just rip you to shreds if you're not knocking them out instantly. I think they pick up those, they pick up the ones during Fat Man, and they also pick up the stuns before the aims room as well. If you're going for absolute safety, you want every single stun grenade you can possibly get your hands on in this run.
Now this room is on a timer because you want to reach that spot on the conveyor belt to defuse the bomb, but at the same time you want to pick up the box and those grenades before the actual box comes out. So you have to be pretty fast in this room. Beautiful cartwheel over the stairs by Limes.
I didn't realize for a long time, but you can actually roll on the line in the ground to land perfectly for that bomb underneath the Harrier. Small optimizations like that. Lime's doing 1 cartwheel downstairs, that's good. Only a room separating them at the moment, and not a very big one as well.
Yeah, this has been an interesting race so far. A very good one, very close race. But who knows, maybe something might change. The run is long.
Yeah, there's some big areas to see changes in the race. Jack took a little bit of a safer line on the roof there to avoid that guard. Oh, Limes gets kicked. He's down.
Now, Strat D. This is one of the trickiest rooms in the whole game. And it's the reason why most runners play on New Game Plus and not New Game or New Game Plus Plus. Because depending on what you play, the bombs have a different position. The most ideal position is on New Game Plus, which is what you see here, where there is this bomb, which is there, and the 2 bombs which are and the third bomb which is above the second bomb on New Game Plus, which is the most favorable position, and the main reason why everybody wants New Game Plus.
Yeah, I can't stress enough how difficult this room actually is, regardless of which version of the run, which version of the game you're playing on. Strut D is notoriously hard, and when they entered, like Jag got those headshots almost instantly. It was really cool to see. It's got very, very clean Strut D from both so far.
This room is also on a timer, if that wasn't mentioned already. You have to do everything so fast, especially those shots at the beginning.
Lime's very low on health right now. And he's going to play safe. He's going to go back. When you're bleeding, you can crouch to recover your health. On Euro, you can't recover very much of it, but it will prevent you from being a one-shot kill, which is, I think, what Limes was worried about. So he goes back to green health, and then he can get away with taking another shot. Loses a little bit of time for that.
This was still a clean bomb disposal from both runners.
Yeah, very, very minor mistakes. And now they'll only have 200 seconds left to get to the deep sea dock. It's not a lot of time, but I think they will manage it.
I don't know, it's quite a long way. That guy is actually not dead, he's just swimming.
Yeah, he's a renowned diver, known around the Big Shell for being such a good diver. And we're heading down into the deep sea dock. Obviously, the bomb position in the deep sea dock is changed per difficulty. Euro is one of the better bomb positions, right? It's just on the wall. Very easy and hard have the worst positions in the deep sea dock.
I believe for hard you have to go over the rail and go into that small railed off area. It's definitely the worst position.
Yeah, Euro's not too bad at all, just on the wall there. We'll fight Fortune. Obviously, Fortune will instantly kill us if she hits us. I think, no, it's instant on extreme, but you can survive it on Euro. Anyway, getting hit by Fortune is bad times. So we're going to use the, I think Limes and Jaguar King both use the box to get the better turn-in circle. We're just trying to avoid her attacks. We wanted to destroy the forklift at the start of the fight, but we're just going to try and avoid her attacks.
There is also a different strat where you just go up against the boxes and pick out, because picking out gives you iframes, invincibility frames, and you use that to your advantage. However, that's quite a risky strat.
I think Jag will do that because he's got no bullets in his SOCOM. That's generally what people want. Yeah, he's going for it. So Jag's going to peek out and get the iframe. So we get to see both strats at work here. Both are obviously very viable.
However, I believe that the pick out strat is used on PS2 because it's less laggy than the box strat.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Although on these new Xboxes, you seem to not get any lag at all. It's much like PC. It's just the like the old school versus the new school right now. It's great to see both strats being used like this. We used the peek out iframes trick a few times in the run. It's very useful during the Harrier fight as well. If you mess up your timing on that, obviously, you are immediately dead. It's quite generous, though. I think you get iframes on the way of peeking out and the way back in as well.
And I also saw the runners equipping the coolant right before the fight ends. What that does is it puts the SOCOM on your previous, so you just tap R2 or the bumper on Xbox, and you instantly have it equipped.
And also use the tight turn-in circle of the box when leaving. There's some claymores on the ground on the roof of strut A that you want to avoid, and the cardboard box will easily let you maneuver past them. The cardboard box in this game is really useful. You'll notice when they get spotted by guards, they'll immediately go into the box as well. That means that rather than the guard shooting you, he will go to call for backup, which
They are
allows you to
just
just run past
terrified
him.
of boxes.
Yeah. We can also use it to low profile the ciphers. So you see Lime's hiding from the cipher in the box there as well. I'm sure Jag will do the same strat coming up here as well.
And coming up for Limes is quite a tricky boss fight, which is Fat Man.
I think it's worth saying that both runners are playing exceptionally. This is such a hard game to run. And, you know, they're playing so well.
I believe that was a fast bomb for Limes. Unfortunate prone from Jag.
So you can manipulate Fat Man at the start here. I think you get 2 knockdowns before he will actually just skate off. The trick with Fat Man is you want to stay as close to him as possible, and you want to knock him down in a position where you can instantly get 2 M9 shots. If you're fast enough, you can always damage him twice every time you knock him down. So you just switch in between your SOCOM and your M9. Don't let him get too far away from you. Don't let him plant bombs. And also make sure you have enough SOCOM ammo. So you got to know where the SOCOM ammo is. It takes a 6 or more to knock Fat Man down. So if you're missing shots as well, or hitting him, see Lime's in trouble here? No, he's fine. He's knocked him down and rightly goes for the ammo. He will only get like a 1 shot on him now, but he's got additional ammo to knock him down again. It's always a good choice to make during this fight. And yeah, Lime's that Fat Man. That was a really decent fight. Jag not far behind, but he's got no ammo. When you get into a situation like this, you have to go for the ammo and you're risking losing Fat Man. You don't have a
this is
radar. It's very difficult to hear where he is, and you literally just have to find him. So really good job by Jag there to go and find him. And yeah, rightly moves for the final shot, is that? Yes, it was
yeah.
difficult to see the health on my screen, but good backup, good use of backup, and good knowledge to know the various positions that Fat Man can actually go to. As I say, there's no you can't see him on the radar. We don't have radar, and the sound of where he is doesn't give his position away at all. You can hear him skating, but it's not like even if you're using headphones, you can't tell where he is based on that. You just hear the sound of it.
Yeah, I believe that only on the PS2 version the sound is actually dynamic and plays in the side where he's in, but I might be wrong.
It's definitely mono on the PC version, I know that, but someone who runs HD might be able to correct me and tell me that it is dynamic, but I don't think it is.
But shortly, there will be one of the biggest deciders of who wins the race, which is aims, depending on what RNG you get.
Now, unlike in the VE tournament, we will be going into Strat F for the AK. It only spawns in the core on the lowest difficulty. Lime's doing a little buffer maneuver at the start. He punch kicks the wall, which will move guards into places he can deal with them better. Lime's did the setup where you shoot the wall with the M9, which makes the guard walk over to investigate it. Means he's not looking at you, and it's the fastest way to do that room.
Yeah, that was beautifully executed.
And now Jag's turn to have a crack at it.
And doesn't get it.
Yeah, so he misses the shot on the wall. It means that the guard will see you. Jag instantly goes into his box when the guard sees him. And then when the guard goes on his radio, he shoots the radio, which prevents the guard from doing anything. Now, Limes is purposely giving himself a caution here, I believe. I think he just missed it, actually. Maybe he's not giving himself a caution. There is a strat where you can give yourself a caution for this room, which means the guards won't do the additional cutscene in the computer room.
I think he might get the caution here. No.
Very, very scary room, the computer room. Yeah, just plays it nice and safe.
Now for aims. What aims will Limes get?
There is a way, like even if you have a caution in the B1, the room before aims, there is still a way to get on the retinal scanner by grabbing the backup guards, and Limes actually make like a tutorial video on how to do that. You can check it out on his YouTube. But he doesn't need to do that today. He's going to get the stun grenades before he goes into the retinal scanner room. As I say, those are all for Tengu 1, so every single pack of stun grenades you see these runners pick up, they're just saving them until later for Tengu 1.
Yeah, so really check out that retinal scanner video. It's one of the best videos on YouTube.
I believe it's actually D-Line's most watched video.
It is, still is.
He's not getting a good aims here, so Jag can get some time back here if he gets a better aims. Southwest is one of the worst positions. Generally, you want anything on the east side of the room.
However, you can do something interesting if aims is northwest. You can do a glitch, which we might see if Jag gets northwest.
He could have done with something on the southeast at least.
And still southwest.
Basically the same position. Yeah, so no real change from aims. I mean, in a race situation, you kind of want to go even with your opponent. You know, you want all the same RNG and stuff, so having the same position is... You can't really complain about it. Oh, Limes gets kicked.
Oh no, what?
He has taken out the backup team guard, so he won't get an alert for that kick. It's not the worst one to get. There is a more risky exit you can do, where you roll into the backup guard, and if you get seen by him, even if you have a chaff grenade out, the backup team guard can still cause an alert. So, not the worst place to get kicked in the world. It's obviously a bit of time loss, about 5 seconds, but could be so much worse. It's a very, very scary and dangerous part of the run. Yeah, Jag handles it a little bit better, so he will pick up some time again against Limes there. Taking out these gun ciphers as well, obviously they are instant alerts if they see you. Really not a whole lot between them at this point, still only like one room. We're coming into a very scary section of the run, a very difficult boss fight in my opinion, the Harrier. As soon as we take out all 115 sensors that are on the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge, I'm not sure how many it is exactly, but there's a lot of them. So we picked up our sniper rifle. You can't actually progress any further than this unless you pick up the sniper rifle first, because one of these ciphers has a sensor on top of it, and you are slightly too far away to hit it with the SOCOM. If you try, it just causes an instant game over. There's actually, on Euro, there's 2 ciphers with sensors on them, and you can shoot one of them with the SOCOM, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It just is possible. One behind the flag, that's always a fun one when people try and find that when they play the game for the first time. But on Euro, they are just absolutely everywhere. Now, the Harrier on European Extreme is one of the most difficult and technical fights in the whole run. You are a one-hit kill from everything except for the machine gun attack, which we don't normally see. We'll use like pop-out strats for invincibility, and just try and hit the Harrier as many times as we possibly can.
Oh, that's a little menu mistake.
Yeah, Lime's messed up his menu, so it only gets 3 shots on the Harrier. The timing is that precise that if you do something like a menu mistake, you don't have enough time. So Jag's got a real chance to pull ahead here by getting some more shots at the start. But Limes is good at the Harrier fight, and he knows his backups as well. So and we'll see how this one plays out.
That's 3, 4 from Jag, so that's already a small time save over Limes. Now for the die shots, you want to skip that cutscene at a particular time.
They are basically at the same point in the fight. Jag had a lot more damage leading into die shots.
Overall, a better Harrier.
Yeah,
Here you can
this missile
see
spam phase, you can literally only hit the Harrier twice, and then you have to begin avoiding the shots. Otherwise, you're in big, big trouble. And the Harrier's flown away. Jag doing much, much better on this Harrier so far. And he can end it at die shots here. If he gets both at the start here, I think he can end it. Oh, the thing's on 1 pixel of health. So he has to wait for this missile spam phase, but overall he's caught up so much time on this Harrier.
Yeah,
That was
still
incredible
faster.
from Jaguar King. Limes leads by a hair. By a hair. Very nice leap of faith from Limes. Now we'll see both runners put the BDU on at some point during this room. For some reason, the BDU makes it difficult for the guards to see you. There's 2 guards that randomly come out before we climb the ladder. I think that's on hard and above. For some reason, they struggle to see you in the BDU. You still have to be quick through this room. You still can get an alert if you're not fast enough. But if you weren't in the BDU, they would see you almost immediately.
I guess you could call that section Metal Gear Solid 2 Snake Eater.
Yeah, I mean, I would have suggested a camo like squares for this area or animals because of all the orange, but whatever, we'll go for the BDU. Jaguar King doing the cartwheel setup to get on the wall, the B-man. Very scary cartwheeling towards that open gap.
Apparently it's safe, but I don't think it is.
I do it as well, but it scares me every single time. So, it looks like Swim Glitch is back on the menu, as they say. Limes can't be feeling safe with this lead anymore. Now, the president on Metal Gear Solid 2 on Euro You have to do a little bit more to avoid hitting him with the Nikita missile. The Nikita is also further away in the water. It's also the furthest away from the starting position on this difficulty. So we have to swim for quite a bit to get it.
However, taking into consideration that the president acts differently on Xbox, and something can happen.
Yeah, he is. I think it's because of the faster frame rate. It's in a weird position compared to other versions of the game. But they should be fine. I think when you shoot the wall with the Stinger, it's always going to move him out of the way. Good Nikita pickup from Limes. Those sea mines are absolutely lethal on Euro as well. I think they do almost all of your health. And obviously they will instantly kill Emma as well. So yeah, I think that shot where you shoot the wall with the Stinger just completely moves him out of the way anyway. Jack does it on a different wall. I was kind of wondering what was going on there, but
That was a good president from Limes.
the other thing is on European Extreme, the route the Nikita missile has to take into the president's room is changed. There's different like grates and such blocking the way.
Now comes the deciding moment. Will Limes go for swim glitch? Will Jack go for swim glitch?
If Limes thinks that Jag won't, he probably won't as well. I don't know. I really don't know, but feel free to have a guess in the chat.
I don't know. I think that Limes won't go for it because Limes is usually not that good at swim glitch in races.
Well, we know he can do it. I don't know. It's a weird one. They are so close. And as I say earlier, it's more of a time save on console.
He might go for it, but abandon it if he won't get like a 1 cycle or 2 cycle.
If he goes for it and abandons it, then he's in some real trouble because he's going to lose a lot of time for that. I'm going to guess neither does it. That's my guess.
Well, if Lime shoots the SOCOM, I don't know.
I love
Didn't
that
even
tricky
shoot a
movement to
bullet.
get into the water.
And no swim glitch.
No swim glitch. I hate this swim glitch. It's so hard. I prefer swim skip. Good swim from Limes. He got like a max door warp as well.
Jag will definitely not go for swim glitch. No swim glitch from both runners.
So the lead stays about the same. Lime's picking up some extra stinger bullets. He's not going to do a lethal vamp, right?
I hope not.
What was he picking up the extra stingers for? Oh, he needs air, right? He needs air, it's Euro.
Yeah. Alright, so who likes Punch Out?
So Lime's going to hang off the edge, going to wait for Vamp to go to one side, and then climb out of the water, which will give him iframes, and begin the punch loop, non-lethal loop on Vamp. You have to punch him. I think 9 is the maximum you can get at once. Oh, he
no.
messes it up.
That's
Lime's
why
messed up non-lethal Vamp. Huge chance for Jag to pull ahead here.
Jag's also been iffy with non-lethal Vamp. We'll see what happens. Oh no.
Oh, he messed it up. Now,
Limes is still ahead.
this is on Xbox, so it will be a little bit different than what they used to. I know both of them only recently started playing on Xbox, so they'll be used to the HD collection, slight variations in timing. I think Jag accidentally put out a punch kick, and that's why he knocked him out of the loop, but
Yeah.
this is one of those fights, it looks kind of easy, but it's actually quite difficult to perform the inputs correctly. Looks like a good recovery from Jag there. Probably about the same speed on Vamp 1. Now Limes just picks up the body armor in the water. The body armor is really good because it will allow you to take more shots during Tengu 1. Instead of being a 3-hit kill, I think you're a 6 or an 8 instead. And then during the Ray fight as well, every attack from the Ray will still 1-hit kill you apart from the machine gun. But very, very useful. Costs about 11 seconds to pick up, so well worth it when you think about how hard Tengu 1 actually is. I think the best Vamp one I've ever seen was Joseph Joestar. He'll do like, 9-10 punches every single time before he has to let Vamp reset.
Have you seen BM and Zayal?
It's different when you do it in a full run, Immo. But I have, yeah, with the coolant rise. But yeah, in the whole race so far, very, very minor mistakes. Well, Limes looks a little bit close to those sea mines then, as I said before. Instantly kills Emma. Very, very bad times if you hit those.
Now, there you saw the most important weapon in the whole run, the RGB6, which is used exactly 0 times.
Sometimes people fire it during the Solidus speech. That's the only time I see it get used in the run. It's not a particularly good weapon, and it's a lethal weapon as well. You can deal damage to the rays with it, but I wouldn't recommend it. It doesn't do very much to them. Limes is buffering his movement here. You have to be careful during this Emma escort section. She dies very quickly to the guards. You lose a lot of time if you're in an alert stage during this section as well.
Now, where does that guard come from? That's what I wonder.
Yeah, there's only 2 floors and one of them is flooded.
Emma bump?
Surely not.
No,
surely
Emma
not. Yeah, surely not. Yeah, as we saw in the V League, we were playing on PC. Pretty much everyone did the Emma bump. You won't see people doing that on the HD collection. It's very much a no-no. You'd have to be crazy to do it on the HD collection. It can actually soft lock the game. What happens is Emma falls through the level, and she's you can't get her back, and so you can't take her to the door, which unlocks it and allows the game to proceed. Jag just holding up that gun and putting 2 bullets in him. The bombs take longer to defuse on the Xbox version, right? Does the fire take longer to put out? I feel like that would be similar.
Probably not.
And the pin on the chaff grenades on all grenades is actually extended ridiculously for some reason. That's not an Xbox thing. That's just a HD collection thing. Again, we don't know why. They just take ages to go off.
Yeah, I think that on PC, the timer for detonation is started as soon as you pull out the pin, but on HD it's as soon as it touches the ground, I believe.
So good to know about the very minor differences in all the different versions of the game. But yeah, Jag is just behind him, keeping up really well in such a difficult run. Limes has just gone lethal. Limes has just lost big boss rank, going lethal in the oil fence.
I wish there was an option to get the red soul thermal goggles.
No, I know there's nothing in the world that would stop Jag that would make Jag lethal the guards here. It's just not his MO. No, Mario Kart, she doesn't die, she just kind of falls into the level and ceases to exist. Now, going lethal for the entire oil fence saves time because you don't have to menu any weapons. You don't have to switch between anything, you can just stay on the lethal gun, stay in the same position the whole time.
Usually Limes doesn't really care for rank 1 and just goes for it. And also I should mention this, if you find a skip for this area, you might win yourself $1,000. So please find a way to skip sniping.
Yeah, during the oil fence, you obviously have the ciphers which come in. You have the guards that are on each strut. You have increased guards on your European Extreme as well, and then you also have the claymore mines which are placed along the bridge. If Emma hits one of those, she instantly dies, and you restart the entire room again. It's a very long room, basically a death sentence for any run, and a loss for anyone racing as well. And just while we're on this fantastic, enjoyable part of the game, I do want to remind everyone watching that we are watching the Winter 2021 one-in shot, which is a small mini marathon of every runner who's going to be in ESA Winter 2021, which starts, I believe, Friday. So yeah, next Friday that starts. ESA has accepted 4 Metal Gear games into the marathon. We saw one already by Jaguar King, which was Peace Walker. We're watching the race, which was also accepted between Limes and Jaguar King. Next up, we have CDOS Kez running Ghost Babel, which is also in the marathon. And finally, we'll have One Cool Man doing Ground Zeroes as well. Perfect stealth, no kills. So yeah, we're just into the second run. We do have plenty more coming today, and thank you everyone for watching. Four Metal Gear games into a marathon, Makarov. What do you think about that? It's a lot, right?
It's a lot and it's a good thing. The more Metal Gear, the better.
Yeah, for sure. Marathons love Ghost Babel. It got into GDQ, as it got into the last GDQ as well, or was it the last one? One before that? Either way. And of course, in the European Extreme, the oil fence, you don't get the call from Snake until basically the very end of it. Snake will call and tell you to let him know if you need help shooting the guards. It happens almost immediately on, very easy.
That was a good ramp too.
Yeah, he shot Emma a couple of times, and he was like, "Wait, I can't do this." She dies very quickly on European Extreme. And Jag will just switch between the two legs. And he's out as well, so still not a whole lot separating the two. Limes definitely picks up some time there from doing all lethal on the oil fence.
The Tango fights might change the lead.
Big time. I mean, the final section of this game is incredibly scary. Once you get out of the first Solidus torture, which isn't actually a torture, you don't even have to press triangle. It just ends. The Jejunum's obviously a very scary room, and then you have Tengu 1, Tengu 2, which Tengu 2 can literally just kill your run, and it can just happen randomly. There's nothing you can do about it. We saw it in a race not so long ago between Plywood and Platonic Guy, where both of their Tengu 2s failed. Platonic Guys failed twice. So it's a scary section of the game. Then you have the Ray fight, 20 health bars worth of Metal Gear Rays you have to take out. And then the Solidus fight, which is, the non-lethal loop. It's very easy to mess up and lose a lot of time on. So the whole end section of the game is just hard room after hard room.
Although Limes is ridiculously good at the Ray fight, it's very improbable that he will mess it up.
Just takes one mistake, right? Just takes one, incorrect adjustment. Not just dying, but losing the loop as well loses you a lot of time. tricky section in the Arsenal gear, Jejunum. Basically, if you get seen here, if you get an alert, you're kind of dead. You can't really fight back against the guards, and you're like a two-shot kill. So, scary little section of the room, of the run.
And Limes is now trying the gap and hopefully will make it.
Yeah, I
Admits
mean,
the gap.
because you have to take the long route anyway on Euro. In a way, it's kind of easier than very easy because you literally can't take the fast route without dying. So because you can take the slower route, you just have that guard at the end to deal with, and he kind of turns around as you reach him. You can just cartwheel for him, but still, a mistake will still cost you.
You never want to miss that gap.
Yeah, if you miss the gap, you lose about 12, 13 seconds, something like that, right? There is a backup on Euro. Yeah, there is actually a Ghost Babel reference in the GW kernel codex at the end of during the ascending colon. So Ghost Babel does get a brief mention, and Ghost Babel is the next run we'll have next. The next run we have coming up.
But you also request 61 Caesars.
I don't think we'll see that today. Lime's rightly menuing his box and his body armor. Very key for getting through Tengu 1. And what these guys will do is they'll just chuck a lot of stun grenades, move in the box to avoid the opening flurry of bullets. There's a little thing you can hide behind in the box.
Yeah, you will finally see why the runners picked up all of those stun grenades.
Can never have enough stun grenades. I love watching people do this stream. They're just throwing them like bowling balls down an alley, just chucking them stun grenades. At the start of ascending colon, if you don't slash your sword, there's an internal timer that counts down. It won't actually start until you slash your sword, and you have to be stood in the correct place as well. Otherwise, the room just won't end. Here we go. Tengu 1. Taking a few hits, so if he didn't have the body armor, he'd be dead. But he's out.
Nice Tengu 1.
Very, very intimidating little room.
And now you can see here that Limes is trying to get his health down. What that does is it makes Snake use the M4. If your health is above 1/3, I believe, he won't use the M4, and that makes the chances of him dying a lot more probable.
Yeah, Snake is like a hacker. He's like got an aimbot or something, and he can just absolutely destroy guards. But the pistol doesn't fire that fast, and the M4 fires basically on full auto, and he barely has to reload with it. It's ridiculous. He can kill those Tengus so fast. Ooh, Jag's having a little trouble on the door here. Gets his second try. No. Gets his second try.
Nice save.
When a guard drops in front of you, your auto aim will lock on even with something like a punch. So when you do the punch kick to do the Tengu 1 door glitch, it will turn Raiden to face the Tengu, which is really bad. And you can only do it when you're facing fully away from the door. If you face into the side, it doesn't work. But yeah, good backup from Jag. He knew it wasn't going to work, so he didn't throw out the kick. He just readjusted. And you'll see we're just cuddling this guard in the corner of Tengu 2. If you hug this guard enough, you save time. I believe it's something to do with a guard from the first wave still being in the room. The game's not sure why it's happening, so it just ends the fight. That's how I've had it explained to me.
Yeah, it's basically like an anti-soft lock mechanic, and really nice Tengu from Limes. Really nice.
Yeah, as I say, it's a scary room because it can just fail through no fault of your own. Snake can just walk into that room with you, murder the guard when you drop him. All kinds of crazy shenanigans can happen in Tengu 2. It's a stressful room to watch, and Jack's not out of it yet. All sorts can go wrong yet.
Hopefully nothing wrong will happen.
It's all about like how much do you trust Solid Snake to not kill your run. And Jack should be out in just a second here. Yep, he's out.
Nice.
Very nice. We didn't have any RNG shenanigans, but now we have probably the hardest boss fight in the run. I mean, I'm no expert on this, but from what I understand and what people say,
Either
it's
the Ray fight or the Harrier.
Yeah, it's such a long and technical fight. I think the fastest this fight can be done is around 4 minutes on PC, so we'll be talking about 6 minutes generally.
I believe the world record on PC is actually sub 4.
Wow. But yeah, I mean that's with a very risky setup that's only really viable in individual level speedruns, and in full game we'll be seeing something a little bit more safer. I'm just trying to say it's a
Limes
very
is
long
going
and
for
technical
the
fight.
IL strength. Limes always goes for the risky setup at the beginning, but Jag will go for the traditional setup for traditional start, which doesn't lose that much time, but it is slower than the the risky one. But it's also a lot safer.
Limes is on 1 pixel of health here, so anything will kill him. Absolutely any kind of hit will kill him at this stage.
A lot can go wrong on this fight.
This is absolutely terrifying to watch.
Any mistake can basically switch the lead at this point.
He's keeping these rays really bunched up so he can just keep dealing damage to the two of them. The ray on stage is still slightly alive. There we go, he's dead now. So we can just keep these two rays off stage as close together as possible and just repeatedly deal damage by hitting the leg and opening the head.
You really want to avoid standing too far away from the ray on stage, because if you're too far away from the ray on stage will fire the knee rockets, which are notoriously hard to dodge. But at the same time, you also don't want the rays around the stage to go into the opposite corner, because if that happens, they will fire regular rockets, which are also a lot of time loss because you have to run away and you don't have time to shoot.
Yeah, even if you're not on this ridiculously low health, every single attack from the ray, aside from the machine gun, is an instant kill. So they're both kind of manipulating the rays into a position where they don't actually do any attacks. Really difficult to do. The timing's very precise. It takes a lot of practice to do rays this well. I think Jack's picked up this ray loop really well. There's not that many of the European extreme runners who can actually do this in the first place. It's a really technical, and Limes was talking about on the stream yesterday, just saying how difficult it is to even make a guide for, just because of how much is going on. I don't know, I'm just a happy spectator. Just glad to be watching it.
Currently, I didn't spot major mistakes. The raid loop is still going for both runners.
Yep.
Every ray is in favorable positions. Jag is having a bit of trouble keeping the loop, but looks like everything's fine.
Yeah, so he's had the
bad.
race split up here, which he will lose time for, but keeping it for this long was just real so difficult. Limes is out. That was a masterclass raise from D-Limes 13 there.
The fight is pretty much almost over for Jag, so it's really difficult to keep the loop for over 4 minutes.
See, as the rays break apart and go to the other side of the stage, not only are you at risk of being attacked by them, but the stinger has to travel so much further to hit them. So the fight just takes longer and longer the further they are apart. I mean, this is kind of like the way people did raise for a long time was just kind of like survive as best as possible and, you know, finish it if you can kind of thing. But nowadays the fight is just so technical.
So the fight is almost over for Jag.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Oh my god, I just held my breath and watched. Very scary fight. Limes is into
Oh no,
Solidus
save
now.
boss.
Jag accidentally hit the save boss.
Now the Solidus loop. Swipe twice and then punch 3 times. You want to swipe Solidus on his right side and your left side, and then punch him on his left side and your right side. Because on his left side he has an eye patch, and because of that he's pretty blind on that side, and you can punch him without him blocking you.
Yeah, I know that Limes has said many times that he's not that great at the Solidus loop, and he does have trouble with it.
Oh no.
The amount of damage that Solidus does to you is heavily reduced in the HD collection. I think he'll 2-hit kill you on Euro PC, but it's reduced in the HD collection. It's a much easier fight, but they're done perfectly. It's still basically the same. And Limes has broken the loop a couple of times, but he's into phase 2.
Still decent.
It's good RNG, people's elbow. Looking much better on this phase 2 loop. He's broken the loop a little bit here.
Good RNG. That's GG to Limes. Great one.
Yeah, GG for Limes. I'll switch this side over for Jag Solidus. Very close race. And yeah, exceptional from both runners. I think if once Jag closes out the Solidus, he is a big boss run as well, right? I don't think he made any mistakes.
No, and kept it non-lethal throughout. It's incredible that the pace was so good and that the difference between the runners was so small for the majority of the race. It was an incredible race.
Yeah, I mean, the difference really came down to the Solidus loop in the end. And not Solidus loop, excuse me, the rail loop in the end. Like, that was it, the only difference, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, Limes trailed for the most part. Jack picked up again on the Harrier, and we've still seen them pretty much on the same fight in the same room throughout. But it just goes to show you how much time you can actually lose in that Ray fight and still do it really well. Like, it's still an excellent Ray fight, but it's so
GG to the
optimized
Jag.
now.
Do you remember this
Yeah,
place?
GG for both. Incredible race.
Of course.
Such a
This
joy
is
to
where we
watch.
first met.
I wonder if either
I
of them
remember now.
want to jump in and come and talk to us. I will just mute the sound on their streams because we don't play the say goodbye to the yesterday music. Hello, Limes.
Hello, Limes.
Going on?
Good race, GG.
Thanks.
I was just saying, I think the difference in the Ray fight is really what it came down to in the end. Such a close race. You led for the most part. Mistake at Harrier, let Jag catch up for a little bit. Tight race throughout.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't my A game for sure. Definitely made some mistakes. I had a really good tanker, but then bomb disposal just was very messy. Fat Man was okay. And then Harrier, I equipped Chaff on accident instead of going to the Stinger. And then that's why I got a 3-shot and it just threw everything off. Bled a bunch of time there. Vamp, I had to go to a backup. Ed in the chat thought I was going to do Stinger Vamp, but I knew I was out of Stingers. And to get Vamp out of the water fast, I need Stingers. So I picked up the Stingers before Vamp in anticipation that something like that might happen where he would go back in the water. Thank God I did, save like 30 seconds doing that. This was just a know your backup type of run. Just do whatever it takes to win and just know your backups.
Yeah, both of you made almost like you basically had the exact same vamp. You lost the loop at kind of the same place and had to do the exact same backup. Welcome as well, Jag. GG.
GG, dude.
Thank you very much.
GG.
GG Limes.
Appreciate it.
Do you know what depresses me the most about this race? This is my run as a big boss rank.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Big Boss. Yeah.
I just PB'd on a race against D Limes 13.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's dope.
Nah.
You get to.
I don't know why do I keep PBing during marathons and races. It's actually kind of funny. Nevertheless, that was actually a good race. I mean, I got a bad Olga. The rest of the run went really, really smooth. I mean, I think I made a mistake while trying to roll into the stairs with Snake on the tanker section. The next mistake was that it was actually my finger slipped. I was trying to equip the coolant before Fatman, and then my thumb slips, and I ended up like going prone into the ground. Other than that, I'm trying to remember if there was any big mistakes that I did. I don't think there was. I mean, the vamp, I guess, was fine. Then, yeah, I guess the raise as well. The raise. I don't know what happened with the fight against the raise. One of the missile ended up locking on the left leg of the ray going to the right, and that's cost me the loop and screwed everything up, I guess. But nevertheless, that was actually a good race. GG. To be honest, I'm actually glad that I've been doing these kind of races. It's been a while since I did actually MGS2 races or MGS1 races, so it's actually fun to be here and be participating with the community doing this amazing race.
Yeah, we enjoyed it tremendously, and you know, it was just the one in shot run. It can go for the win in the ESA run as well. But yeah, fantastic race. Both of you just kept it so close throughout. It must be like scary when you lose the loop at Rays right towards the end because you were like in the seas before you lost it. and obviously if you get hit or if you die at such a late stage of the fight, you have to do the whole thing again. So were you a little bit scared of that happening, or what was going
I
on,
mean,
Jack?
yeah, that's actually what's happened. I almost died, actually. One of the rays almost blasted me with its water cannon. It was really, really close. I'm probably like half a second or a few frames away from it. I was hella lucky back there with that particular ray. But yeah, once you lose the rays, everything goes to hell. And it's pretty much up to you to try and cope and try to damage control the whole situation and continue to focus and try to learn the way or how the ray actually operates. And I guess that's the most important thing if you do not know how to loop the rays.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ridiculously hard fight anyway. But then when you put all the technicalities of keeping the loop throughout the entire fight, which saves so much time, it's a very scary fight, and right at the end of the run as well. And also, Jack, you did a full run of a different game right before you did this as well. So every credit to you to do that Peace Walker run and then immediately jump into a race and get Big Boss in MGS2 as well. So
All
Yeah,
right, thank you.
that's quite badass. So
Oh, thank you very much.
that's the swag.
yeah, I lost Big Boss in bomb disposal. I got a transition zone alert going into Strut F, so didn't carry, but it was still an alert.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I saw you like killing the guards on the Emma sniping section. I was like, did he lost Big Boss rank? Because I did not
Yeah.
notice that.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is if I'm in a race, I try to keep it, and if I lose it before sniping, then I'll resort to lethal, just to saves a tiny bit of time.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, where did you lose it? I didn't see you lose it.
Transition zone alert in going into Strut F during bomb disposal. I went to shoot the guard or shoot the radio before entering Strut F. I shot the guard instead, and then as I was entering the room, I got an alert.
Oh, I didn't even spot that.
It didn't
Big,
carry.
big,
That's
big
why you
rip.
had to have heard it. So
Yeah, I don't have sound while I'm commentating.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah.
right, yeah, nobody would have known unless they heard it. So, but yeah, at this point, we'll probably just go to IGT and see what they are, especially with Jags.
Yeah, Jack's
PB.
got a
Yeah,
PB, which is dope.
yeah.
I don't want to
for
see
sure.
it. I don't want to see it. Just because here's the thing: if the Rays were good, I would never mind it. I would accept it as a PB. But the Rays, I don't know. I mean, I did not like what the Ray how it actually went, especially with that mistake by losing the loop. But I guess I will see. I'm gonna take a look at the IGT and see how it's gonna work out.
I mean, anyone who can get rank 1 in a race it is impressive because I don't know how much you feel it, but I always feel really pressured in races. Like I always feel like a great deal of pressure while I'm playing.
Hmm.
I do.
To be honest, excuse me. To be honest, actually, I thought I'm gonna end up getting really, really pressured doing a race because it's been a while since I actually did one of these races, and it turns out I was actually no. All I have to do is just think about it as a normal run, and there you go, and you should be fine.
It's a good mentality. I hope to have one like that in the future myself.
Hmm.
Not bad, all things considered. It was Harrier and Vamp that really cost me a chance at. Honestly, if I get Harrier and Vamp, even with the other mistakes, this had a chance at possible record.
123, 12. That is actually nice.
Mhm. Yeah, probably
GG laps.
20 at Vamp, no swim glitch, and probably 30 at Harrier at Lost. So
Hmm.
Just while we're waiting for the time to come up here, the next run will be Metal Gear Ghost Babel by CDOS Kez. And I think we have Bad Humans commentating as well. We'll take a short intermission once we've seen both the IGTs. shortly after the Ghost Babel run, we do have one cool man running Ground Zeroes as well. So still 2 runs to go today. And thank you everyone for watching. We'll have Jags IGT in just a moment.
$124.44. Not bad, actually.
Yeah, massive GG. Big boss
All
as
right.
well.
Really nice.
Feel free
Really
to.
nice.
I don't know if your local record, but sometimes when people submit the PBs from, they like to use the MGS VOD. So if you wanted to use this, you might just want to show your rank on the stream as well.
All right. Yeah, I
Just so
guess that
everyone
was
can
good.
see it.
It is a big boss.
Very, very nice. Excellent race from both of you. Jag, as well, thanks for doing 2 runs back to back. Best of luck at ESA Winter 2021, which starts next Friday. Check the schedule if you want to check out these guys' runs. Obviously, we'll be tweeting them out on MGSR and stuff as well. Do you have any final words, Limes?
Nope, I'm good.
Enjoy the Super Bowl, mate. Jag, do you have any final words?
Go MGSR. There you go.
Thank you very much, and thanks, Macra, for commentating as well. We're going to jump to a quick intermission.